Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Linda Coblin, a mindfulness-based wellness coach, and I work with women who are ready to look inward, to trust their inner wisdom so that they can show up more authentically and speak their truth in their relationships. In today's video, I want to talk about speaking your truth. And I just want to share with you some steps that I've learned that really help in getting unstuck so that you can move forward and speak your truth in your relationships. When I say get unstuck, I'm referring to that feeling of feeling stuck and people pleasing and needing to please others to feel worthy about yourself. A feeling not good enough or fearing that you're going to disappoint others if you don't do what they want you to do. You may be feeling stuck in doing too much, taking on too much in your home environment, your work environment, and really fearing helping or asking for help from others. Or perhaps you really feel stuck in taking on the emotions of others and the problems of others and feeling that you're responsible for them. And all of this is really making you feel frustrated and also resentful of others because of sort of this imbalance in how you feel and how you're expressing yourself. So the 3 steps that I'd like to share with you start with a very important first one, and that is to really make a decision that you've had enough, you want to get unstuck, and that you want to learn a new way of being. And to really find out and learn about yourself so that you can move forward. It's important to see this decision as, because it can be such a scary one, to really see it as a journey, as an experiment in being a new you with much, much support, self-care, love, a real taking care of yourself in the process. It's important to know when you make this decision that it's very learnable to be a new you. It's just a new set of skills that we need to learn and to apply. And anybody can do this who wants to. Very learnable new set of skills. And it's important to know at this point too that you've been living out of a certain set of skills and habits that, like all of us, we learned really unconsciously as we were growing up in our family, influenced by our community or culture. Maybe we inherited some of these traits, or even by media. We learned beliefs and thoughts about ourselves, and we responded to life in such a way that just was keeping us safe. So we've sort of arrived behaving in such a way very naturally. It's nothing that we've been doing wrong. It's not our fault. We just were never taught otherwise. So when we find ourselves deciding, we really need to come from a place of, I'm making a decision, I support myself and care about myself enough to learn how to do things differently so that I can create different outcomes in my life. So a real self-care step here. Okay, so step 1 is to decide that you want to get on the path to learning a new way of being, a new way of communicating. Step 2 is a willingness to build self-awareness, to really take a look at how am I speaking to myself? What am I believing about myself that make me behave the way I do? So really looking at the root of your behaviors, your present behaviors, taking a deep dive in a really loving way with curiosity in, why do I people please? Why is this my go-to way of being? What's at the root of it? And again, we're not blaming, we don't want to blame ourselves here, and we don't want to blame anybody else. We don't need to blame our family when we look back at what caused us to take on such behaviors. We're just looking deeply so that we can learn from it. And once we learn why we've done and learn to behave certain ways, we can see and create some space to make some different choices and do things differently. So a real willingness to build self-awareness. And this, again, is not an easy thing, right? This takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to take a look at ourselves in order to free ourselves to do things differently. Step 3 is to be willing to be uncomfortable. Letting go of our old self in order to be and behave in a new way is a very scary process. So totally understandable. And we really have to be willing to sit with and experience the discomfort. Normally what you may find, and if you take a look, and is very natural, that we haven't grown out of beyond people pleasing, because it's very scary to be in the presence of disappointing others, of being in fear or self-doubt or feeling not good enough. And it's normal as human beings, very natural in the way we've been constructed as human beings, to not want to be in that uncomfortable position. It's very normal to go to the comfort direction of things, to go to the easy route, and it's easier just to people please and get the validation that way than it is to step into speaking up and perhaps creating discomfort around you. So it's very natural to not want to be in the presence of discomfort, but we have to be willing to be uncomfortable, to try new things so that we can feel the difference in the outcome and build an understanding and awareness of who we need to be to create new relationships in our life. So a willingness to be uncomfortable, to try new things, to create new outcomes in our life. Important here is to get support, because this is, for one thing, it's scary, and for another thing, it's really hard to see ourselves when we're in a sort of habitual way of being. You know, when we're doing the people-pleasing, when we're taking on the emotions and problems of others, it's just so normal for ourselves to do this that we can't see ourselves doing it. So it's really important, and I have found this to be true in my own life, to get external support from a therapist, from a coach like myself, for example. This is what I do. Or you can read about it and self-study, but get the support that you need to be gentle and be able to see what you experience from different perspectives. So that helps you along your path. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say for the willingness to be uncomfortable and getting support. Very important pieces. And so in conclusion, these 3 steps are: decide that you want to take a new path in life. You're ready to let go of the old and look at new ways of being someone new. Be willing to dig in and look at your past a little bit and where these beliefs and behaviors evolved from. And a willingness to be uncomfortable and get support as you move through this new way of being. And when you do this, this is the whole part about trusting your inner wisdom. Because what you're doing is you're building your self-confidence as you try new techniques. You're building that knowledge and that sense of authentic, your authentic way of being, as you be true to yourself and act from what's true for you. And you're building better relationships, way better communication, and all of this brings like just a huge sense of balance and ease in your life, and much, much more joy in being with other people and working through the process of relating with others in a way that is more easeful and more kindness to yourself. So I'd love to know your thoughts and comments about what I talked about here. If you have questions about it, or if you agree or disagree, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And as usual, I want to thank you for being here. A reminder to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I'd love you to join my Facebook group if you want to continue this conversation with other like-minded women. And I'll leave a link for that below in this video. And as well, join up for a free mini coaching. Sign up for a free mini coaching session with me if you want to find out more about taking a deeper dive into your own experience with speaking your truth, and how my coaching might support you in your journey to living more authentically and speaking your truth in your relationships. So thank you again for being here, and until next time, please do take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.